Okay, this next the audio is on. Right, because the Torah PARSHAS Shemini. Okay, so yeah, say there. You're right. You can broadcast it. Okay, just put this on your thing. Though.
Sagt der Alter Rebbe.
Okay, Chavla, I have it's Yud Ches.
Hold this open just in case.
This is a close friend of mine. I don't like these prints, but okay, it's all good.
Just make sure it's set here, you know? Right here.
Levyasan ze yetzarta l'sachek boy. Isa b'medrash Rabba PARSHAS Shemini. So it's not from this week's parsha or the Torah. It's from the medrash of this week's parsha. Behemis v'levyasan heim knigun shel tzadikim. I think that's the way you read that word. La'asid lavai chulu. The Eibishter has for tzadikim a tainuk for tzadikim, hana for tzadikim, where you have a behemis. We'll soon say it's referring to the Shoyr HaBoyer and the Levyasan that have a fight. Behemis noisitz leLevyasan bekarnov vekoiroi, the Levyasan noisitz lebehemis besan pirov venoicharoi. Chulu. There's a fight between the Shoyr HaBoyer and the Levyasan. The Shoyr knocks the Levyasan with his horns, and then the Levyasan takes his whatever sharp part he has, and he slices the Shoyr. He kills the Shoyr HaBoyer. Yeah, with the fins. So the question is, how could the fins of the Levyasan aren't smooth like the shchita knife we know we need? It's bumpy. And we learned that hakol sheichten, you could use different knives of a kol sheichten. I'm sorry, hakol sheichten, everyone is kosher to shecht of a kol sheichten, and you could use different types of knives. However, la'olam sheichten chutz mi maigol kotzer. Certain knives which the
Magal is the sickle. The
you cut the tvor.
You cut the tvor.
Yeah. And the fins of the Levyasans are bumpy, similar to a Magol Kotzer. So the answer is that Chidush Torah Me'iti Teitze, the new Torah that Mashiach is going to reveal, is going to tell us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yatir Oz Shchita Zu Sheyishchot HaLevyasan Esabehema B'San Pirov. There's going to be a heter when Mashiach comes that this type of bumpy Shchita knife is going to be okay, and the fins of the Levyasan are going to be able to shecht the Shoyr HaBoyer. So this is the Medrash Rabbah, and we're going to explain the Medrash Rabbah. The Havin Inyan Knige Zeh the Levyasan im Shoyr HaBoyer. What's this fight? What's this hana that the tzaddikim are going to have? They're going to watch the Levyasan and the Shoyr HaBoyer fight until the Levyasan shechts the Shoyr HaBoyer. So ha'inyan ki yesh beis minei tzaddikim. There are two types of tzaddikim. There are two avodas Hashem in this world, and the Levyasan is compared to one of them, and the Shoyr HaBoyer is compared to the other avodah. Two different types. I think it's similar to the avodah.
Don't worry, the bed did not spill. We're good. Oh, a little bit spilled. Okay.
It wasn't me.
It's all about the beer. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Here's good.
Security?
Yeah. There's a ring. See the ring? Look at the ring. Yeah.
The first avodah is oisen shein b'seiser shavidasan beruchnis. The tzaddikim that their avodah isn't seen in this world. Pirush bekavanas halev liyachid yechudim al yoinum b'chinas aliyas. There are tzaddikim that their avodah isn't the avodah we see. It's a ruchnistic avodah. They're miyachid yechudim. It's a phrase common to all big mekubalim or miyachid yechudim. It's not something we see. It's not an avodah we know of what tzaddikim do. We could go in Reb Shimon ben Yochai k'shahaya b'mayra yud gimel shana shebavadei lo yahaya yachal lekayim b'maise kama mitzis maise sharei lo yahayu nizunim rak mechar.
Just gonna hear the curl.
Reb Shimon ben Yochai, we can't understand his avodah, how it's possible that he was 13 years. He didn't eat a kazayas matzah Pesach. He didn't hear a shofar in Rosh Hashanah. They have things that say in the Torah. We can understand how we served Hashem. Yeah, the old cases. Why? So he was a chelik of this avodah of these tzaddikim. They only had the carob and the well. The Ibrilu Hashem created special for them. Bakse, that's the only thing they had. Imkin like kayim achilas matzah b'pesach v'kiddush alayim v'esrog v'sukkah chulu. V'chein ha'arizal yagamkim gam b'bchina zu. That is also this bchina avodah that we don't understand how they served Hashem. The Habez, the second, is Oisim Tzadikim Shem Begilu Shavidasam Begash Mispekim Amitzis Maisis. They also were mamshech oidus al yonim, but in a gash mistig oifen. There's a Mayadei Hashem. There's a Gilei Likus. Yeah, there's a Gilei. Hashem reveals Himself in Yom Tiv, and how does Hashem reveal Himself to us? Through the simcha and the mitzvahs we do on that Yom Tiv. That brings Gilei Likus. So they're also miyachid yuchudim in a way. Vasimcha hu agilei oidus baruch shen mishach mizgal. Vas hamshach zu al yidei hamitzvos beuvda. This Hamshach, Hashem revealing Himself to the world more on a Yom Tiv is done specifically through the Avodah, the Gashmistige Avodah of that Yom Tiv. K'maymer azal shebizman habayis ein simcha ela bebasa dahainu mitzvahs shalmei simcha shayim meviim b'chol Yom Tiv. The mitzvah we know simchas Yom Tiv is bebasa v'yayin. Today we only have the wine. Pesach is Aydei Matzah. Shavuos is Aydei Matan Torah, right? Matan Torah that speaks about all the children, how important for everyone to go hear Aser Sadibris. On Besukkah is Aydei Sukkah v'Lulav u'Minav Sukkah the Lulav and the Dal Minim. Well, all day is that ef shel hamshach klal. You can't be mamshach elikus in this world and that Yom Tiv without these gash mistige mitzvahs. So you have tzaddikim that Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, he didn't have all these things, and he was serving Hashem in a ruchnistige oifen, and then we have tzaddikim that serve Hashem in a gashmistige oifen. V'hinei be'emes ef shel hagia onridin alikus yisbarach leidei avodah gashmis. Well, the Rebbe says here that ultimately the way to reach Hashem onridin, to reach alikus can't be done through the second avodah we learned through the gashmistic avodah. Allah yidei avodah ruchnis shal tzadikim hanal. Only the avodah of Reb Shimon ben Yochai, the ruchnistic tzadikim, they were able to touch alikus, so to say, or at least more than the avodah gashmis. V'heim nikroim nunei yama. They're called the nunei yama, those that swim in the yam. Kedagim eilu shayam machasa aleim, kach heim mibchinas almadis kasya. These tzadikim, they come from a darg of Alamadis Kasya, where everything in that level is Batal Hashem. In this world, Alamadis Galia, we see Gashmis, we see things that say that there's a Matthias, tell us that there isn't the Eibishter. But Alamadis Kasya is a world where you don't see anything besides Eibishter. Everything in that world is Batal to Eibishter. They come from that darg. The Yam is compared to Alamadis Kasya. We learned whoever was here the last time I gave the shir was Kriyas Yamsuf about the Gilui of Almadis Kassi. The Yam splitting was a Gilui of this darged where everything is bought with the Eibishter. So the only way really to reach Hashem, to reach Alikus on the highest level, is through avodah ruchnius of these tzaddikim. So the Levyasin represents this avodas Hashem. Shulashin his chabrus. Levyasin means connecting. K'may hapam yelave ishi elai. Yelave means escorting. You're going together with, when you escort someone, you're going with him. Connecting. Yelave means connecting. Does the Rebbe continue? No, there's the Haggah.
Oh, this whole beginning is part of the Haggah?
Yeah,
No, we finished. Oh.
but that's the small letters finishes. So look for the second without the small. Atkan Hagar. Yeah. So
Turn to page 36.
Achli Hiyos.
36 over here, right?
The third word of the line begins Atkan Hagar, and the end of the second parentheses.
15 lines in. Yeah.
Achlios.
So till now it sounds like the ultimate avodah. We only need the avodah of tzaddikim because they connect to Hashem, beruchnis, and the oifen that begashmis can't.
Yeah, but though, isn't the whole purpose of the world the
Yeah. Achli Hiyos ki ha'olam hazeh gashmi. The world is gashmi. L'chein tzarich letzaddikim. We need the second avodah. Shavidas and begashmis. We also need those tzaddikim. Yeah, it's interesting that we learn about the tachlis being this avodah. Now we learn about the it being necessary to have both.
I guess you can't get a real gilui unless we should get it.
לכן צורך לצדיקים שעבידוסם בגשמיס לקיים מצווה מייסיס והוא שאמרו רז"ל עמוד אחד וצדיק שמוי. There is a beam, a tzaddik she'alav ha'olam oimid. The world is standing on a tzaddik. There's a tzaddik Yisrael that's holding the world. V'chol ma sheyesh b'yabasha yesh bayam. You know that in the example we gave to the avodah of tzaddikim that connect to Hashem, they're compared to the fish that swim across the ocean. So everything that there is in the dry land, there is in the ocean, which means everything there is in the avodah of tzaddikim that do the avodah in the ruchnis tegoifen, we have in the gashmis tegoifen. It's both the same. Both types of avodas have each form of avodah. Every avodas Hashem, there is a gashmis tegoifen of that mitzvah, that avodah, and a ruchnis tegoifen of that yichud, of that avodah. We need both of them. We need the Levyasin, and we'll soon learn we need the Shoyd Habar. Kihine, it's interesting, it doesn't have much to do with Shemini, it's the Medrash, but when you learn the Sichos of the Rebbe, PARSHAS Shemini speaks very much about this Shemini being the eighth, including both of these Avodas, where 8 is, in one hand, 8 shows above, Ruchni is above 7, right? 8 is not part of 7. If it's part of 7, it's not 8. It's totally higher. On the other hand, 8 is, it's part of 7. If you don't have the first 7, then it's 1. It's only 8 because of the first 7. So it's higher and it's there at the same time. There's two types of avodah. The Rebbe says these tzaddikim, that their avodah is a ruchnistige avodah. It's avodah. It's a great high darge that we can't understand. K'maya derech mashal hadagim sheshatim bayam kachem shatim uvetis achas magiel. Oh, k'maya dagim sheshatim bayam. Just like fish, the way they go across the ocean, they could do it in the dry land. You can't, fly the way fish swim. These tzaddikim, they connect to Hashem without any struggle, just like fish very smoothly could fly across the world. Yeah, so to these tzaddikim, they could connect to Hashem without a struggle, very easy. They could reach much higher with one jump, one tisa. Hebrew tisa means a flight, but over here probably means one avodah they could reach very high darge. Much higher than the avodah of the tzaddikim in gashmis. So here we have a very hard avodah. It's begashmis. It's not an easy avodah. The gashmis avodah, the ruchnis avodah is very easy. Hiluchim shu kamashal dag hayam sheshat mikatza elamat katzeu kach hiluchim beruchnis betis achas oilum umagim lemay lemayla ve'in ze klab bechinas islabus veresichas adomim K'may avodas hatzadikim anal shebegashmis.
Shup.
Where?
It says mit ein Shtup.
Oh, mit ein shup. Oh, the small letters. Blush in Yiddish. With one
One.
shup.
Yeah.
Where can I go to you?
Little sets and it's a part.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps on cold,
One
keeps on
wiggle.
gliding.
One wiggle.
Yeah, it's shup.
Everybody this.
That's a good Yiddish.
No, that's sure. Oh, sure.
Bein the klal b'bchinas islavus v'resichas hadamim. There's no struggle or excitement. The reason is simple, because when you're outside of something and you're trying to go inside, you're struggling to go inside. When you're in there already, you're there. Like the famous dogma of the person that struggled to reach the mountain, and then he got to the top, and there was a little child that was born there.
Oh, yeah.
So the tzaddikim that are in Almedis Kassia, they're in Ruchnis. They're in a place where everything is bottled. There's no struggle. They're like a fish. They're there, and they could just serve Hashem without a struggle. When we're tzaddikim that are serving Hashem Gashmis, they're outside. They're in this world, Almedis Galia, and they're struggling with Sicha means with boiled blood. It's very hot. It's very hard. The simcha is bebasar or b'yayin with gashmistic things. It's very hard to serve Hashem with gashmis. So, and these tzaddikim that are beruchnis don't have this. El adrab, bekrirus hadamim with cold blood, ubenachas with nachas. They don't. A fish is not struggling. They're cold-blooded and they fly across the ocean very calmly. Yeah, the Rebbe repeated himself. With one jump, they can reach a very high darga in alikus. This is not something that can be explained. You don't see this often. We can't understand. We're not able to understand how Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, when he was in the cave, without having matzah, he was able to be Mikayim Yom Tov Pesach. He did an oifen that's much higher. The Leviathan represents this higher ruchnistic avoda that can reach the highest darga in aleikus without any struggle, very easy. And that's why the world needs this. The world is dependent. It's standing on the Leviathan. However, when Mashiach will come, we said in the beginning, the Medrash tells us, what's going to happen? The Leviathan is going to shech the Shoyd HaBor. Because there's something in the Shoyd HaBor that the avoid of the Leviathan, like we said earlier, you mentioned, doesn't have. Something the Shoyd HaBor. The second avoid of tzaddikim, nikras Shoyd HaBor. Pnei Shoyd Miyasmoil. We know one of the tzura, the cover was Pnei Shoyd, Nevu Yecheskel. Shoyd is one of the animals described. Elo shehu bar v'zach, but it's refined, it's clean, it's sifted. That's Shoyd HaBor. The
version that he's referring to in the Machzor, that's Zach.
no, the Shoyd HaBor is Zach. The bar is Zach. Bar like sifted, cleaned. Ki hine gam avidosim b'maise gashmis k'may v'samachta b'chagecha d'yomtiv ve'ini simcha elu b'basar. Even the gashmis, the avodah we described, that the tzaddik that's serving Hashem with gashmis is doing it with gashmis. He still has kavanah that it's for Hashem. It's not only for gashmis. Eini k'pshutai sheyechal basar asher lemalis bitnoi. Chas v'shalom v'yasis boy. He's enjoying the taste of the meat. He's full with meat, or enjoying the wine, and that's why he's happy. Al b'chinas ha'alois. The word is to be maile the basar and the yayin for Hashem, and to be B'simcha with the yomtiv, not with the gashmistic thing. Ki'inin shal misimcha mi basar gashmi. The carbon shlamim they brought with gashmis to get meat. The word was reich nichoyach la Hashem. They brought the carbon, they enjoyed the meat on Yom Tif, but they brought the carbon for Hashem. So too, when we eat meat on Yom Tif, it has to be for Hashem. The simcha on Yom Tif, Shemini Esrei is with you. We say in davening that because we had the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, we don't have karbanis, so we're hoping to do davening to be besimcha with you. Yeah, today it's biyayin. The point is that this avoid the gashmis of the tzaddikim, the way we described it earlier, it sounded very megushim. It sounded like it's only gashmis and it doesn't have a connection with ruchnis like the other tzaddikim. The Rebbe says no. The whole avoida of the tzaddikim gashmis is only to be maila the gashmis. The simcha should be not a simcha with the gashmis, simcha with the basar. The simcha should be a simcha with a simcha for Hashem, the gilei likus that Yom Tiv brings. Zeu nikra shoyr haboir. That's the reason why it's called shoyr haboir. Miloshin bar levov. What's that? A clean heart? Yeah. Pirush basar zoch ubar. Dainu simcha l'Hashem anelid mizeh berish be'esh v'slavus. It's a simcha da Hashem that comes from rish be'esh v'slavus. What's rish be'esh v'slavus? It's an excitement, the exact opposite of the excitement that the person has to encourage himself to have simcha of Hashem.
Just like the simcha of filling your stomach, the simcha of eating L'Shem Shemayim.
Yeah, but the nakuda is that the simcha, if here the rish be'esh v'slavus means that the person has to bring the simcha. The person has to bring simcha of Yom Tif. The person has to do the avodah and work that the simcha shouldn't be a gashmistic simcha because of the meat or because of the wine. It should only be for Hashem. And when the tzaddik is mekayim or prav is a Yom Tif, that's what the tzaddikim do. We also do it, but not in the high dark. So the nakuda over here is that even the tzaddikim that do it b'gashmis also have a ruchnistic chelek. It's all ruchnis because the simcha that you don't see a guy that looks at the tzaddik eating sudas Yom Tif or being makir of a carbon in the Beis Hamikdash doesn't see the simcha that the tzaddik has. He sees the simcha in basar and the simcha in yayin. But be'etzem there is a ruchnistic simcha here. So even the gashmistic avodah also has a whole ruchnistic part because be'etzem the reason why the tzaddik is b'simcha is because of the gilui likus that Yom Tif brings, not because of the basar. However, it's still not alash afapi kain, still milsa zutrisahi. This is a very small. Everything you have to compare to a guy that's or a sama that's eating basar and yayin. This is a ruchnistic avodah, but compared to gabe hiluch hanifla shel tzadikim hanikroim livyasin. However, compared to the other group of tzadikim, this is a joke. This is not a ruchnistic avodah.
The hiluch is a joke. The amount of hiluch is a joke. Not the avodah itself. I think the avodah is equal, as I said earlier, but the hiluch, the emphasis on the hiluch is a joke.
No, the opposite. Lagabi hiluch hanifla shel tzadikim compared to the hiluch of tzadikim that are livyasin.
Compared to the hiluch of the Levyasan, that's Zutla. I think
Which means they reach a very hard daiga.
They give one push and they keep flying on.
They with one push. Yeah, they're still here in this gashmistic world.
He's not diminishing the avodah, is what I'm saying. He's diminishing the distance that it takes them.
Yeah, you're saying Zutrasahi is what the avodah achieves. Yeah.
The distance, specifically, not even the achievement. The achievement is not tzruach l'fam. But specifically, the distance aspect of the avodah is much different.
Okay, I'm not sure. I don't understand exactly, but I guess.
I don't want us to diminish. I think that he's not coming to Chachal diminish the avodah
Right.
of Gashmis. I think he's just trying to point out that the distance that's involved is much smaller.
Yeah. He reaches a much lower level of ruchnius. Yeah. Yeah. If you shabam midavar gashmis, so if it's the simcha came from a gashmistic thing, ubal gvul, it came from a bal gvul, a limited person. Okay. Here Rabbi Shimon was also those 13 years of bal gvul, but Mashenken niluchim shalahem shabetis achas bekrius of anachas magim lamayla shigdoyle yosel ein kates. However, back to the tzaddikim that serve Hashem beruchnius, with one push, with the cold, calm push, they reach the highest darget. Ein kates. So the Mashiach comes, the Levyasin is going to have to shech the shoyr aboyer. He's going to have to shech that avodah. What's pshat? Pirush yalo, he said. He's going to uplift it. We know that when we shech the animal today, we uplift it. We take the animal a treif. It's treif. You can't eat this animal. Through the shechita, it's kosher. So shechita uplifts the animal, makes it kosher. So the Levyasin is going to uplift the shoyr. Alidei hatisa shaloi. Zau b'sanfiruv shebahem val yodem ikar aliyah shaloi. With his fins, that's the ikar aliyah shaloi. How does the Levyasin swim across the ocean? With his fins. So that's what allows the Levyasin in the ocean to be able to reach these high avodas. Yeah, b'tzisa achas. So he's going to use that same tool, and he's going to shecht. He's going to uplift the shoyr aboyer. So we're going to have all the milas here. We have the avodah of the avodah of the gashmis being brought, the avodah of gashmis, which we said earlier, the Torah was given the gashmis. That's the way Torah has to be practiced for gashmis, and it's going to be uplifted to the unlimited darge ruchnis, where the avodah of tzaddikim ruchnis have. Shezeu l'mayla mikoicham atzmo shel tzaddikim hanikroim shoyr aboyer. The darga that the Levyasin is going to bring the shoyr aboyer is a darga higher than the tzaddik could go by himself. But be'emes, both of them. Not only the Levyasin uplifts, shechs the shoyr aboyer and brings him to a higher darga, also the other way around. In one sense, one geder, avodah some nalis yosid, avodah of the tzaddikim that serve Hashem begashmius is higher than the other one. So that's why it's going to be a two-way fight. Although it's gashmis, it's still in one way higher than the avodah of the Levyasin. The way Torah tells us to be besimcha on Yom Tif, and how are you besimcha? Be'ein simcha ala bebasa v'yayin, gashmis tiga basa and gashmis tiga yayin. Mitzadeh yalahu oisoi, and because shoyr aboyer, the avodah of the shoyr aboyer served Hashem in the gashmis tiga avodah, so it's in a way higher than the Levyasin. So the shoyr aboyer is going to be ma'ila the Levyasin.
That the Levyasin will also have an aliyah from the interaction with Hashem.
Yeah, no, but it says first he's going to, with his horns, he's going to knock into the Levyasin. That's going to be that aliyah, and then the Levyasin is going to shecht him with his fins.
A simultaneous shchita. It goes both directions.
So first his horns are going to knock into the. He's going to shchita aliyah. He's going to uplift him.
He kills Levyasin through his horn.
He kills him? It doesn't say he kills him.
How do we end up eating it?
He served the shepherd.
The Koreh, he tears it. He's saying it happens at the same time. He shechs him, he kills him.
Each one has a mile that the other needs.
Yeah.
Why is he saying V'china achas avodas nails yaiser? Isn't that a mutual statement? Isn't that a true of both?
Each one has a mile over the other.
Right. So the way he's
don't think the Levyasin is so superior over the shoyr. The shoyr has a mile over the Levyasin.
The way he says it is overall being ruchnis could with one push reach the highest levels, but we're saying that we still have something. The Shor Habayir still has something
to offer to the Leviathan, and he's
Yeah.
going to give them.
Nihilus Yoiser sounds like it has.
Because the pile did it with
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do with the diet. He's not just saying that each one has a mila over the other. The mila that the Shor Habayir has over Leviathan is in fact higher overall in this one respect.
and that's the whole purpose of this whole world, the whole bria. It's not.
Otherwise, this
for
lashon
the
would be.
Leviathan, he doesn't need this whole world. Doesn't need this whole. We have plenty of malachim.
I like your dear.
Otherwise,
It's just the thing is you weren't reading the words all Tereb and trying to understand. You had your agenda. The dirib tachtonim is the top, and then you're fitting it in. Now let's it. Yeah, I know. No, 100%. We have to live with that agenda. Dirib tachtonim is the tachlis avodah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because this Maimed does sound very much different than the rest of Likutei Torah. We're talking all about this avodah of tzaddikim. At the end, we have this that V'zeo yireh HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yireh means seeing or yireh. He's going to show. Yireh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to show. Lasid lav l'tzaddikim klolus avidasim b'hai almo sheshneim ke'echad toiv b'hai adif u'b'hai hai adif. Okay, this is too equal for you. The high adif and the high adif. In one sense, the being close to Hashem is higher, and in the other hand, that's higher. Yeah, but the nekuda we have to know is that ultimately.
Analysis is different than adif and adif. Each one has an adif over the other. That is a true statement. That's equally true. But in terms of the avodah, this one has a mile over the other.
Yeah, but the main thing we have to know is which avodah is for us. We're not malachim. Hashem created malachim. He needs malachim. Ultimately, everything is created for us, which means even the Leviathan is created for the Shor Habayir, to be ma'ileh the Shor Habayir.
In fact, when we dive further, the B'chinas Achas, which is the kavan of Dir Dachtenim, to Arayim bringing the Achas and out, in that respect, of it doesn't matter. To be ma'achad,
Okay.
Right. Achas means the Eibishter. That's a deal.
V'hinei halev.
6 lines in the
Yeah. Maybe after we could learn the Tzemach Tzedek's view. V'hinei haleviyasin yishchot es-shoir haboir b'sanfirav. I hope I'm reading that word correctly. Af shekehayoim shchita kazu peguma. Today, the shechting with a knife that's bumpy isn't kosher. Piguma gemurahi. It's a total pigam. Machmas a hefsek, because you're not giving one smooth cut. There's being hefsekis. Aval asid love tzarich is kain dafka. We're dafka going to need this type of shchita that is going to be hefsekis. It's not going to be one shchita. So when the Shor Habayir when the Leviathan geshacht the Shor Habayir, there's going to have to be hefsekis. Ki inyan hashchita zu hi b'chines aliyas Shor Habayir. Like we learned earlier, this shchita of the Leviathan to the Shor Habayir is to uplift it, to bring it to the dargah of doing a mitzvah in the level of the Leviathan, which is the ultimate connection to Hashem, the most spiritual level. Al yidei Leviathan amalei b'sanfirav. L'chein tzarich li is hefsek bein tayim. It has to be spaced because it has to be different steps. Sharei yef shali is kol aliyah bevas achas. The Leviathan can't check the Shor Habayir in 1 second. Yeah. There are a number of heichalos, different dargis that the Leviathan has to bring the Shor Habayir, so that's why it has to shech with the fins. It has the bumps, so it can bring it one heichal at a time and then bring it to the highest dargis. This sounds very much not like we learned till now that the avodah of the way the fish swim is in one shtup. Yeah, was a lashon in Yiddish, one shuf. Or shop, here we're saying the exact opposite, that it's going to be.
the tail shop is
himself.
now, the avodah now. That's the way he glides now. But loss of love, it's going to be.
You can still glide, but by virtue of the knife being serrated, in that gliding, it's cut up, so to speak. It's divided up, but it would be it would seem to be
Or it could be that he's already in that darga. He has to, in order to bring him to the ruchnistic world.
In the Leviathan's movement within itself, it goes and flaps its tail once and can go an enormous distance. In the way that the Leviathan shechts, in the way that it interacts
To
with
elevate the.
something
And like you said, it gives one cut with
It's
that
not
has
back and forth for the night. It's
right.
just drawing it, but it's serrated, so it's like a many lines with a.
Yeah. אפשר כל ההליך בפעם אחת על ההפסק בין היכל להיכל ולכן יתר הקדוש ברוך הוא פגימה זו, the Eibush is going to matter, it's going to be mutter to shacht this way. והנה שור הברי.
Reconcile, if you approach Shpita rated, then as you're moving in, there are interruptions. So it is a bunch of separate levels, even though the pressure is one swoop.
Yeah.
So, because you have to find that in the words about them saying that there are steps. So if you think about it, technically, if you slow down the video, there are a bunch of small steps. Like,
You read slow motion?
if you slow motion it, you'll see that each
Now
serrated
you're
is a step.
talking
I feel.
it's failed.
Videography.
Yeah.
והנה שור הברי יאלס על אביוסן על ידי שידקרנו בקרנוב. He doesn't explain the Leviathan being Maila. We know that Shechita is Maila the Behema, and he gives a whole arichis. The other way, one line just tells us that he's gonna.
That's with on.
That's an aliyah.
That's his aliyah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be they're both gonna be dead at the end.
Yeah, that we're gonna eat.
The beer starting from this point onwards is Tzemach Tzedek.
No, we skipped.
No. Starting beer al Leviathan ze Ulaya Scarlet. Under that Keteris.
No, unless it's a middle.
Oh.
Because we have all these beers because of a dream, right?
But he wrote them down. He had a dream about whether or not he could publish them.
Yeah, children had the dream.
Right. Children had the dream. He had the dream, and the children had the dream. And the children told him.
Okay, you can press and it's proper. Press and the game. And